This is the Probate Mastery YouTube workshop. We're trying to do a workshop every couple of weeks, at least once a month, at minimum, a workshop once a month. I've been in the middle of our coaching program launch called Mastery Academy, and while I was getting relationships and coaches all in place, I was kind of handling all those one-on-one coaching relationships myself over the last couple of months. So if I've been a little bit quiet and not putting workshops and things out, it was just because I kind of overwhelmed myself a little bit. But we're getting back into the swing of things. I'm going to try to be putting these out quite regularly. You guys should also be on the lookout for a role play call at least once a month. We're going to start doing YouTube once every couple of months. We're going to start doing business planning once every few months. We'll be doing prospecting sessions. So be on the lookout, trying to add a lot of value into the group. The vast majority of that value is going to be free. So I know most people here have already taken Probate Mastery. There's really only two things that I monetize, and that would be the Probate Mastery certification course and then the one-on-one coaching. So that's a brand new product. If anyone wants more information on that, just hit me up later or email support or something like that, and we'll make sure that we give you the details. But what I want to do when starting out is I want to find out how many of you guys are currently utilizing video in your business. So if you're currently actively utilizing video in your business, pop your hand up. I want to see who you are. All right, anybody? Melanie, there's Melanie. I was waiting on Melanie's to go up. Terry, uh, Rain, yep. Awesome. Cool. Um, how many of you have been teeter-tottering back and forth? You've been sort of making an effort, but you've been inconsistent. At least you've gotten off the bleachers and you're kind of in the game a little bit, just not as consistently as you want. All right, got at least one hand. Okay, that's where I figured most people were going to be. So I'm assuming that there's a lot of folks here that are kind of watching from the sidelines, and it's time to activate it. So I want to go ahead and encourage you guys that getting into the game with video is going to be it's gonna make a huge difference in your business. I was having a conversation with one of my previous coaching students, unprobate related. This guy, I wish I had invited him here because he was telling me a story that was just unbelievable. He didn't want anything to do with probate. I kind of brought probate up to him at one point, and he was like, "Nope, that's not me. I'm gonna stick with my sphere." So we were coaching, and I basically encouraged this guy. Knew he was a newer agent at the time to get into video, and he started doing it. He started doing it every week, not just one video, but normally a couple of times. He'd get on and he'd talk about gardening, and he'd get on, and he'd talk about houses, and he'd get on and talk about a client, and he'd get on and talk about a neighborhood. And I will tell you, and I wish he was here because it's always better to criticize someone when they're there. I hope this doesn't go back to him. If it does come back to you, I'm only doing this to prove a point. Okay. I watched a lot of those early videos where most of you guys and even myself would have quit putting videos out that I doubt he was proud of. I wouldn't have been proud of if I'd put them out, but guess what? He kept on putting videos up and kept on putting videos up. And most of these were short form. There was some YouTube, which we're going to talk about today, but it was a lot of Instagram and a lot of TikTok, and he just kept putting them out. And I watched for 2 years while this happened, and I still watch, and I still don't see lots of views on his videos. It's amazing. We're having a discussion probably a month and a half ago, and I asked him how video was going, and he said, "Bruce, you'd be shocked. I've gotten 11 signed listings this year, all from videos from people that didn't know me and they wanted to do business with me. 11 signed listings." And I went back and I looked at his videos, and I was like, I don't even see 11 people commenting on what you're doing. Okay. How are you getting 11? And the thing is these are secret people that just kind of sit in the background and they watch and they may not engage. And I'd pushed him to get into video 2 years ago. Now, 2 years ago, I was definitely doing YouTube. I was not doing much else. So the new forms like our Instagram Reels and our TikTok videos and our YouTube Shorts and things like that, I was not doing those. And when he told me that, I was like, well, I guess I got to get off the sidelines and start putting short form video together. But 11 signed pieces of business. And then he said, one of the best things that happened to me is I was working with a buyer and I went into a competing situation. And he was brand new agent 2.5 months ago. He went into a competing situation where he's working with a buyer and he put an offer in, and the agent called him and said, Darren, we haven't met, but I've been watching your videos and I know you and I feel like you know what you're doing. And she said, your offer is not the best, but because I feel like you're going to manage the transaction the best, we're going to go with your buyer because I, as an agent, have been watching you. So I'm just here to tell you guys that as we get into this, it doesn't matter what is the visible effect of producing content through video is going to be. The invisible benefit is going to just blow your businesses up. And I'm just going to encourage you guys, please be consistent no matter how you feel about the early videos. Please be consistent. All right. So with that said, I want to go ahead and dive in. And as we dive in, I'm gonna tell you guys what I say every single time is this is an interactive class. I want to see your hands. I want to hear your questions, your successes, where you're doing things that are working, where you have experience outside of my experience. And I'm going to show you guys my channels. My video creation has been as a coach. When I was heavily producing, I did not put a lot of video content out, a little bit, but not a lot. So there's going to be some experience in this group from people other than me that I'd love to hear from. So I want to get those hands up as you have questions, comments, or even challenges on certain things that I'm going to point out today. But we are talking about your YouTube, specifically your YouTube business strategy. And with that said, please don't limit this strategy exclusively to YouTube. But I'm a believer in YouTube and the benefits of what YouTube can give you, on top of what some of the other platforms can give you. Okay, so and I'm still letting folks in. If I keep looking up and pausing what I'm saying, it's because we've got a steady stream of people that are trying to join, and I'm trying to monitor the access that everyone has. So what do we expect out of our YouTube channel? So I'm just going to ask you guys, pop a hand up or unmute yourself, and let me ask those of you that are getting into YouTube or have been in it, what do you expect to receive out of your YouTube content in your YouTube channel? What are some of the objectives that you have?
I
Melanie's off mute. What do you
Yeah,
have?
I'm kind of thinking I'd like to see some interaction, maybe some questions, not just those likes or people liking your content, but I want people to actually start asking questions. So I've started posting my short form videos on there. I did a couple interviews as well. And I posted one yesterday and I got 475 views on it already. And that is
Mm.
unbelievable. I only have like 55, 56 subscribers. So now I want to turn that into converting it, into questions and making it more interactive. That's kind of my goal.
Yep. Absolutely. So get the interaction going. Rain, how about you?
My
And I
goal
always
and
call you Rain. Is it Renee? I
no,
don't know.
Reen
Rain.
sounds like
Rain.
green, but
Okay.
respond to anything
Yeah.
close. That's
Yeah.
fine. We can
Okay.
make it rain, I guess. We'll do that. Um, no, on YouTube, my goal is really just to get exposure. I heard someone, I think it might have been Bill Gross, who said if you're not well known, you're unknown. And
Mm-hmm.
so I just wanted to get exposure. And then what I'm trying to do is to as far as engagement goes, I want to then as they develop a relationship with me, I want to use YouTube to capture the email addresses and get them onto my email list so I can
Yeah.
build the relationship
Absolutely.
with them.
Absolutely. Good. I love it. Awesome. Lionel.
Yeah, anyway, I was hoping that the the YouTube that I'm going to discuss will provide like knowledge and information. Basically, I think my intention, this is for me. My intention for YouTube is not for clients to call me and have business, but rather to still establish the foundation of
Hmm.
what I can possibly provide them in the future.
Yep.
Not an instant result, but rather informational, informative, and something that will really make a difference in in their life, in what they're thinking and what they're planning to do.
Absolutely. So establish a foundation. Good answer. Good answer. And if you guys would, 1 second, let me make sure. Nope, I am recording. I worried myself for a split second, thought I might not have started the recording. All right, all good answers. And I'm going to give you kind of my answers. And I want everyone to again recognize that if there's something here that I'm leaving off or you haven't heard and you have a different answer, pop it in because I certainly, as an agent or an investor, I haven't done it all. But I do know how to think about business, and the best way that I know to think about business is to listen to what other people are doing as well. So, number one, when I am building when I'm building a channel or content out, um, I'm going in it with the expectation that I'm going to build a casual audience. This is the audience that follows you secretly, and they may not engage, but they view. It's interesting because most of you guys know I try to go to the gym 4 nights a week, and it's a martial arts gym. And I put content out on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, and it's not for it's for realtors and it's for investors. It's for people in the real estate business. And I'm not targeting anyone. And I'm constantly getting people coming up to me saying, I watch all your videos. They don't like my videos. They don't comment on my videos. They don't save my videos. And my videos aren't for them, but they watch all my videos. Okay. I would have no idea if I wasn't naturally interacting with them, and they probably wouldn't even come tell me that they watch all my videos. So I want you guys to know that most of your audience is going to watch you from a distance. I'm the type that if I'm scrolling through Instagram or YouTube, I'm hitting the like button or the dislike button on everything. I'm commenting on a lot of things. I'm saving a lot of things. I'm one of those people that engages with the videos that I'm watching, but most people aren't like that. And you're not going to know who those individuals are. They're just going to show up as a view. They're going to sit casually. It does not mean that they're not wildly engaged with and interested in what you're doing. So I want you to be fine if most of your audience is a casual audience who you don't know. They're a nameless, faceless person until you talk to them. And one day they're going to be more than a nameless, faceless person. And they're going to pop up and you're going to say, I didn't know you before today. And I just found out that you've been watching my stuff for the last 8 months, right? Melanie, has that happened to you yet? I'm going to pick on Melanie a lot because I see Melanie's TikTok videos nonstop. Always see her TikTok videos. And if you guys aren't following on TikTok, the probate nurse, go follow her. Have you
Yeah.
experienced that?
Yeah, I actually have. I went to, I'm in Tampa, so I went to one of the local, realtor meetings that they have down there for GTAR. And I was sitting in the room, and after the class, someone came up to me and she said, I know you. You're the probate nurse. So, they do see you,
Mhm.
and she's never hit the like button. I wasn't sure who she was, but she knew me from Probate Mastery and from that as well. So people they do watch. I also post mine onto Facebook, and
Mhm.
Instagram and whatnot. So I do have people within my friend community and other realtors saying, I'm watching those, and I'm actually getting calls from other realtors
Yep,
with questions. So
absolutely.
they know you. Yeah, they do. Which is
One of the cool things is when you guys get pulled in on someone else's deal because you've presented yourself as a probate specialist. And that's happened to me a number of times. I've been pulled in on other people's deal that I wasn't going to get at all, and all of a sudden I'm a co-listing agent on it. That's pretty cool, and it comes directly from promoting yourself, even if it's an agent or an investor that's watching your stuff. So I do want you guys to expect to build a casual audience. I also want you to um, go into your game plan with an understanding that you're gonna be in there building a Google or an SEO presence. Google owns YouTube, so there's really no better way to build great web presence and search engine optimization than to get content on YouTube. They are going to promote that really heavily. So you should be going into your approach on YouTube, planning to and with a game plan to build a Google presence, which means that you're going to need to title your videos appropriate, title your videos in line with what consumers are searching for. You guys need to go out and do some research and figure out what are people looking for. You might start with something like, hey, how to sell a probate house in Tampa, Florida, how to sell an inherited property in Raleigh, North Carolina, how to, when can I sell a house in Atlanta, Georgia? Okay, there's different questions that you could go onto YouTube and search or onto Google and search and see those suggestions, or on YouTube, you see those other videos on the side of what you just found that show you the popular videos that YouTube is pushing, and try to title according to what those are, because that's what people are searching for. And that's what YouTube and Google are going to show when they search for those. So YouTube videos are an absolutely amazing way to build great search engine optimization on your website, on your blogs, or on your standalone videos. It also demonstrates your authority and credibility. So that's the ultimate goal that I have. I want to demonstrate my authority and credibility through YouTube content. And I'd say that the majority of you guys know the stories. This has happened to me many, many, many times, where people have told me through prospecting or through something where I might meet them, that they're not interested. They brush me off, and all of a sudden, 5 minutes later, my phone rings and they said, I just had to look you up. Very impressive. I like you. Let's talk about working together. And it's happened many times, and it wouldn't happen without the web presence that I have. And that presence starts heavily with YouTube. So you're going to leverage YouTube as a search engine as well. So some people search on Google. A lot of people do their how-tos on YouTube. So how to sell a house, and especially in a certain area, when to sell in Florida, when can you not sell, how to get through probate, a lot of different things that people are searching for. And then the last thing that I want you guys to expect or hope for is building viral content. It's hard to say what's going to go viral. It's really hard to say what's going to go viral. But our hope is that one or two of our videos go completely nuts and it blows our audience up. And once that happens, you've got it made. There's a guy that I followed. I haven't seen him for a while, but he's in Charlotte, North Carolina. His name's Mike. If anyone knows who this is, let me know, because I can't find him now. I don't think he's on there, but he was on TikTok 3-4 years ago, and he just happened to go viral. And this guy went from being a new agent that didn't have a lot of experience, and because he was comfortable sitting in front of a camera, he got hundreds of thousands of followers, and he was selling 3 or 4 houses a month off of his videos alone. And I keep referencing TikTok. It doesn't have to be TikTok. It can be YouTube or Instagram or anything, any platform that you're promoting videos. But if you can somehow hack that viral code on one of your videos, it'll blow you up. That's not typically what I expect when I'm putting a video out. It's what I'm hoping for. What I'm expecting is that it's going to be found slowly, and it's going to be seen by my casual audience that is lurking in the background watching what I'm doing. Okay. All right. Any comments on that before we go to kind of the channel layout for YouTube? And how many of you again are actively on YouTube? I feel like you have a pretty good YouTube presence and channel. Eric, anybody else? Lisa? All right, perfect. So Eric and Lisa, are you guys focused on community information, general real estate, estates and probate? What are your focuses since I saw your hands?
So for me, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
So for me, it's I started off doing like new construction. So my page is primarily home tours.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Perfect.
I broke off now into doing just some community tours and things like that. So I want to start putting some probate stuff up there now too.
Outstanding. Okay, so you're very much at this point general real estate. Maybe not maybe not
Yes.
every aspect, but you're covering several different niches.
Yes.
Okay, good. Lisa, how about you?
So I had set my YouTube up. Sorry, I just got out of the dentist, so if I slur or something, that's why. Um, so I had on the YouTube different, I don't remember what they're called, but I'd have a buyer section. It was more general. And
Mhm.
now I'm revamping and I really want to focus in on the niche of probate. And now most of my videos are all about probate. And we have a company that'll come up here to Reno like once a month and they're videographers. And so I can take my content in and just slam out 10 videos and then release them each month. But then I have it under that, I don't know what it's called, you know, when you're on YouTube and it has the, it's not a banner, but it's under, it's
The
a section.
sections, yeah, under the different sections.
Yeah, and so I put up a couple, and out of all my different types of videos, I also run it on Instagram and Facebook. And on YouTube, I was getting like 500 views, and then Facebook was 485
Hmm.
views. And that's without pushing it out like with a reach ad or anything like that. So that's cool. And
Yeah.
when I was doing the reach ads before, just to really get top of mind for people, they notice and they'll sit there and binge watch you. And
Yeah.
I had my first call last week. Hey, I saw you on YouTube and saw that you had some listings of what I'm looking at. And so it pays, it works. It's just being consistent. That's the biggest thing, is getting it out there once or twice a week.
That's true. I love the binge watchers, and the reality is that's the battle that most of us are going to have is being consistent. We'll talk about batching content in a little bit, but if you start, you need to be consistent, and it is a battle to be consistent. But we'll deal with some of the tools and techniques that you can use for that. Anybody else have YouTube channel that has been running for a little bit that you'd like to share your topics on there? Is anyone only doing probate and estate YouTube versus general YouTube content, general real estate content? Okay. Nope.
Bruce, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Yeah, in reference to YouTube, I don't know how to do the YouTube, but I would like to find out, is social media okay to start with first and later on progress to YouTube with subscribing to all the leads at the same time? Is that something that you would recommend?
Yeah, I think that that's totally fine. I'm going to encourage you to work it the other way though. Create content that you plan to go to YouTube and then break it apart for other social media. So I would create it for something like YouTube and then repurpose it elsewhere. That's going to be the easier way to go if you're doing video. Um, I think that you need to be on all platforms though, or as many as possible. But I would create for YouTube and then spread it across the different platforms myself. Some people go only short form vertical video, and they're only doing videos for Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok or YouTube Shorts, the vertical videos. Um, that's fine, but I really like the long form that I can chop up. Mike.
Yeah, so if I just want to make sure I understand you correctly. It's okay. So our main business, and I say our, I have a partner, Jennifer, is the senior space. We've been doing it for a while,
Hmm.
downsizing, moving people into communities and so forth. And we want to um, I used to do probate a while ago in 2014 is when I started, and kind of went away from that into the senior space. But we want to start incorporating probate back into our leads gen,
Hmm.
just because they complement each other. So if I understand you correctly, the YouTube on, and we do no YouTube. We do a lot on Facebook. We have a great following on Facebook. We have a great following on LinkedIn. It's
Yep.
okay to do videos for both things. Like I was under the impression that if I was going to do YouTube, I had to do everything on probate and then do another one on the senior
Y-
business.
Yeah, so if you ask 10 people that, you'll get 10 different answers. I'll tell you my answer. I'm just gonna one of my favorite sayings is this is a way, it's not the way. Um, my way, I cringe when I hear people say I'm going all in on this one niche. Okay. I've clearly gone from a coaching and training standpoint all in on the probate niche, but I don't like seeing other people do that. I want a holistic business because you never know when one niche gets a little bit of competition or when it dries up. I like to put a lot of emphasis on the kind of the senior or life transitions and the probates and things like that, but that's not everything that I do. If I'm going YouTube, I'm going to make it about um, local real estate information or community information, and I'm going to have sections for different niches that I have in my business. And I may have a first-time home buyer niche, and I may have a probate niche, and I may have a senior transitions niche. But I'm going to break it into sections personally. Now, if you guys were to ask Courtney Rollins, and I think most of you all on here know Courtney Rollins, Life and Transitions Real Estate, he's in my market and he is all estates and probate. And I think that that's totally fine. Personally, I like to spread it out a little bit though.
So I know nothing about YouTube other than deep diving into, like everyone does, into subjects on it.
Hmm.
I, um, so where, like, does Probate Mastery, do you have a course in here somewhere that we could purchase to explain us from A to B, like A, do this, B, do this, how to set this up?
Well,
Because
I'm going to
I'm,
show you how I would set it up now today. And then Courtney Rollins has a workshop that he's done, and he's going to do another one for us with his way of setting it up. So there's going to be several workshops. From a course standpoint, I would follow Think Media. We are totally unaffiliated with them. It's a course that I bought. I think I'm paying $100 a month to be in that group. They're all about YouTube, but the reality is I pay $100 a month and I stay in their program. Yes, there's some uh, tips and tricks and some secrets that I didn't know about, but the reality is 90% of what I'm getting from them, I kind of already knew just from fooling around with YouTube myself. And I'm going to show you guys exactly kind of how to set up a channel, how I would set up a channel along with how I would go about creating my content. I'm going to give you a couple of different ways today on creating the content also.
and that was Courtney Rawlings. Is that correct?
Yep, Courtney Rollins, and his channel is Life in Transitions. And he's here in my market. He's in Durham, North Carolina. He does a great job on YouTube. And I've got a workshop. We'll probably put the workshop out that he did. We'll put it out when we send this video out. That way, you guys can watch sort of two different angles on YouTube.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely, Mike. Thanks for the questions. Uh, Vadi, you've told me how to pronounce your name a dozen times, and I still question myself. You're on. Yeah, there you go. You're off mute, but I think your headset's not picking up. I'll give it Second, go to your settings. While you're going to your settings and making sure that it's coming through your mic, let me go to Denise.
Hi, Bruce.
Hey.
So I have a YouTube channel and I've had it for probably 4 years. It's called Living in Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't put much probate content on there. I mean, am I doing something wrong? Should I add? Because I do
Yeah.
different things for buyers and sellers, but I don't have much probate content on there.
Well, we'll fix that.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get that fixed today.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. The answer is yes. You should have probate or estate related content on there for sure.
Okay.
Vedi, let's see if we got your sound corrected. Looks like your screen might be frozen now. I'll leave your hand up and I'll come back to you when you give me a thumbs up when you think you got everything fixed, and I'll call on you. Reen.
To answer the question, my channel is exclusively probate right now. The main reason is because I don't have time to do anything else.
Mhm.
I'm kind of in this loop now where I'm getting the views. And again, you mentioned earlier that the videos don't have to be great. I'm living proof of that. My videos are not great. The white balance is off, the sound is bad, all kinds of things are messed up.
Yeah.
But what I've noticed is so on my strategy is I drive them from my YouTube channel to my Facebook. And when they join my Facebook group, then that's where I capture the emails. And then when they start asking questions and engaging in the Facebook group, I use AI to sift through that and give me new ideas for new YouTube videos. And then and then
Yeah.
I do like a long form or a webinar in my YouTube group, and then I use Opus clips to break it down into the shorts. And the shorts seem to be driving the most traffic for me right now.
Outstanding, man. I love that. I'm gonna ask you, and I don't know if you're anyone that's not comfortable doing this is totally fine, but I'm gonna ask people like Reen and Lisa and Eric, those that are have YouTube channels up, and those that are going to be putting your YouTube channels up. Maybe you just have a shell now. If you're comfortable sharing those channels in chat, I think we can follow and support each other's channels. And then get some ideas off of each other's channels and different things like that. I think that's a good idea. And of course, I'd like to follow as many of you guys as I can, see how you're doing, and maybe bring some of you that are killing it up as case studies at some point. So if you guys have channel names, drop them in chat. And Mike, I'll take your question, and then I'm going to move through a couple of slides before we do some other questions. So I want you guys to pop your hands up. I will probably wait a few more slides before I call on some questions again because I want to get into some content. But go for it, Mike.
Okay, this is really quick. So in setting up a channel, do we just use, like, our company's name is Sierra Home Transitions? Would we just use that as our YouTube channel, the name of our channel, or do we have to get more sophisticated because of the mathematical algorithms and all that shit?
Yeah, I don't think that the mathematical algorithms matter so much on your channel name. On your channel name, I don't think that they matter so much. It's gonna be the video content that you produce, and specifically the hooks, the titles that you put on the specific videos. Okay. And I've always said, and plug your ears if you don't like language. Mike already broke that, but I've always said that your channel name could be dog shit and people would follow it if the first video they find is great. Okay, so I don't care so much about the channel name as long as it's somewhat relevant to what you're teaching on. I do care what your titles are on your videos themselves. I care about that a lot. And a lot of people don't get an audience and don't get a following because they don't come up with the proper subject line or title to their content. So, and to answer your question on yours, Mike, I think your channel name is great. I have no issues with it at all. I think it's good. It's clear. They understand what they're getting. All right. Cindy, I will call on you here in a little bit. Please leave your hand up. I'll call on you here shortly. I want to go over some channel layout guidance, and then maybe pull my screen share down and show you guys a couple of channel layouts that I like and how I go about setting up channels that I have. So first thing is I do think it's important that you have some sort of a semi-professional header or banner on your channel. This is pretty important, and man, I've gone through so many versions and iterations of my banners on my YouTube channel. I think I finally have one that I like, but I've said that about all of them that I put up, and 6 months later, I look at it and I go, I don't like that a whole lot. Okay. But you do want a good header or banner on top of your YouTube channel because people will go to your YouTube channel and that's how they start binging you and that's how they follow you. Especially if they like that first thing that they've engaged with, they'll go over there and they'll check you out. Um, that would be the only time for Mike where maybe your channel name really makes a big difference. Yours, Mike, is great. I wouldn't worry about changing your channel name up. I like it. I think it's clear. But if you guys don't have a good banner, you can either hire it out on Fiverr. I have a video editor and a marketing person who could probably help you guys create one. But the reality is, you could just get a free Canva account or a paid Canva account for $8 a month. You could either even get it for $8 and create it yourself and then drop the paid version of Canva. But Canva, you can create all kinds of really, really good banners. They have so many templates on there. That's where we create all of our banners. The professional designers don't like it a whole lot because you don't get vector images and really high quality things, but nobody knows when you put it on Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube that it wasn't created by a professional designer. So I like kind of creating my own off of those templates. If you want something, if you just don't have an artistic eye at all, I would probably go to something like Fiverr or Upwork and hire someone to design you one. Honestly, I think you should check out Canva before you ever did that, though. All right, so get yourself a good banner. Next thing is you want to load up. So you're going to need to think through some video content, but you want to load up at least one, if not two videos that are going to auto play. And the way that looks, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what I mean here in a second on a live channel, a live page. The way that looks is the first time someone visits your channel, not the first time they see a video, but if they actually go to your channel, there's going to be a video that automatically plays and it just kicks on instantly and it starts rolling. And you want that video to either be one of your best pieces of content or something that's about you. It's your opportunity to showcase who you are and what you do. If anyone is over on TikTok, it's kind of like those pinned videos that say who you are and what you do that someone can watch if they want to get to know you. On our Probate Mastery channel, I think that we have one of our more popular trainings up there right now. So it doesn't say who we are and what we do, but it's kind of a popular training. Now, for those of you that have created a little bit more content, you'll probably want to record a second video for anyone that's already subscribed that comes back. So what happens is YouTube says, hey, we're going to show this video automatically to people the first time that they land on your page. So if they've never been here before, they're not a subscriber, we're going to show them this video. If they have subscribed to your channel and now they come back, we're going to show them the second video automatically. Now, I think we would all agree that if somebody has come to your channel, they've checked you out, they've seen your first video, they've subscribed, and then they come back, they're probably pretty interested in what you do. So that second video is probably where you really kind of lock someone in. You really make some sort of an offer. You might drive them to Facebook if you're in. You might offer them a freebie. You might tell them maybe for me where to get a free class or something like that. That would be that second video. So right out of the gate, before you really dive super deep into creating loads and loads of content, I want you guys to think through what are those first two videos, at least the first one video that I want to show someone if they come land on my YouTube channel. Okay, and that video is going to auto play for them. And I'll show you exactly what it looks like as soon as this slides over. Next thing I want to do is I want to have, for me, and those of you that are doing probate and estate exclusive, you may or may not do this. I think that this still ties into those of you that are doing an estate or probate exclusive YouTube channel. I want you to have a section for vendor or community spotlights. Okay, now as a realtor that wants to promote my whole business, including probate, but also including the first time buyers and also including the move up and move down sellers and also including the people that are moving in from out of town. Okay, I'm going to promote pieces and elements of my community on my channel as well in its own section. So I'm going to promote the mechanic and I'm going to promote the yard care person's business and I'm going to promote the restaurant. If I was only doing probate, I would be promoting and interviewing my estate planning attorney, my probate attorney. I would be interviewing my estate sale company. I would be interviewing my contractors, anyone that's on my probate vendor checklist. I would be interviewing and promoting and talking about their business in its own section. And then last piece that I really want to make sure that I have is my niche-based expertise videos. So this is where I'm talking about, what is probate, how to get through probate fastest, how to save money, how to avoid overpaying for an attorney, how to avoid overpaying for a lender, when you're allowed to sell. I'm just bombarding you guys with ideas here. If you didn't write all those down and you like them, go back and watch the recording. But I want to have some niche based videos that we're putting up here as well. All right. Before I dive into content, I want to show you a general channel and just kind of give you an idea. So I'm just going to go here to the Probate Mastery channel. Obviously, this is doesn't have content as though I'm a real estate professional going to consumers. But I've got this video that auto plays. It should auto play. I think it's not because we're on Zoom, but I've got this video that auto plays the first time someone has been in here. And it shows that I'm subscribed. You can see our banner up here. A little bit of a blurb about who we are. Just write something brief, basic. And then all of a sudden we start getting into our sections in the content. So we've got a section called For You. This is auto built into YouTube. You don't need to leave it this way. You could have this section be for probate sellers, how to get through probate, you could call it, something like that. We've got a section for past live streams, a section for just videos, a section for cold calling, a section for podcasts. So we load up the sections. And if you're building kind of a holistic business, I would encourage you to load up on the sections and then segment your videos into the different sections that you niches, let's say niches that you focus on. If you're only doing estate and probate, you're going to have fewer sections. That's totally fine. And those fewer sections could be how to sell property in probate. Another idea for a section could be how to choose the right attorney, and then maybe you have 5 or 6 attorney interviews on that section. Another one might be what to do with what to do to save money, and maybe you have 5 or 6 videos there. Okay, so I want you guys to break your channels into sections. As you go in and you're doing this, what you want to do when you go to YouTube and you have your actual channel up is we're gonna go to you guys don't make a liar of me. Okay, I'm not logged in. I'm gonna go to my other YouTube channel. All right, while I'm going here, if any of you guys have any questions, go ahead and pop your hands up. I'll take questions here in a second. So what I want to do is go to your channel. So once you have a channel and you want to start designing it, you go to your channel and then so you see I've got a video that auto plays on my channel. Here I can manage my videos, or I can customize my channel. So you guys are going to click customize channel. And now you pick your video spotlights. So this says load here the video trailer that plays for people that have not subscribed. And next, what video plays for returning subscribers. So I'm playing two different videos that auto play based on whether they've subscribed or they haven't subscribed. And then I go down below and I just add my sections. And I know this is really basic for some of you, but some of you, if you've not done YouTube, this is incredibly valuable. Okay, so here I'm actually going to go in and I'm going to choose my section, the sections of my YouTube channel. As I told you all, it defaults to the very first one being for you. If you don't want to name it that, just remove this section and add another section. Name it, make your section something that are a little bit more unique and custom to your business. But I'm putting different sections into my YouTube channel. That way people know they can just scroll to that section and they know exactly what those videos are going to be about. All right. We've got an area here where you can put your branding. So you can load your banner image. You can load a photo in if you like. You can load different colors in. If you want to put a video watermark, I never really play around with this, but if you want to put a video watermark in, you can do that here. And then you've got basic information where you can describe you can put your channel name and you can put your about me section in. Okay. All right. Any questions on that? Let's go to Cindy first. Cindy, I don't know if your question was relevant to this because it was up before I went to this slide, but let me take that and then I'll go to Mike.
It might be. I was wondering when you're starting out, because I do not have a YouTube video, but I'm sorry, a YouTube channel, but I have been heavily thinking about it. So I feel like this is a sign from God that I need to go forward with it, obviously.
Yes,
My
you do.
question is to start off, I was like, maybe I'll just do shorts instead of just doing like a whole on video. What are your thoughts on that? Because I've heard of people doing really well with just shorts versus a full-blown video.
So this is that's an interesting question. What I like, those of you that don't know Alex Hermosi, get to know Alex Hermosi. I like what he says. Because everyone always says no one has an attention span longer than like 30 seconds. And that's what most people say. And they go with short form videos because they think that their audience doesn't have an attention span. And he says something along the lines of people will watch long videos, they won't watch boring videos. Okay. So it doesn't matter. You could have a short, boring video and they won't watch it. You could have a long, boring video and they won't watch it. You could have a short video that's boring versus a long video that's engaging and they'll watch the long video. So I think that you need a mix of both. And I'm going to show you exactly how I do both because long form videos are very intimidating to someone that hasn't done videos before. I'm going to show you how they can be not so intimidating. And I'll give you some tips and tools to be able to use for both your short form and your long form content that you're doing. It'll make it easy.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep. Cool. Okay, Mike.
So I noticed that, so we have a YouTube channel that whenever we have a listing, our photographer uploads a video of our listing. And so, but I noticed on your channel that you have no properties on it. It's just informational. So would you keep those two separate? Should I just keep the
Nope. I would have a section. So add a section and say our listings. And I would put all those videos in our listings.
And then just get rid of that other YouTube. I guess it's just under my name or Mike Jankinelli Real Estate that he's been uploading them.
I have 3 YouTube channels. I heavily use one. I passively use the one that I'm showing on my screen right now. I think I'm showing it on my screen. My screen is sharing, right? Okay.
Yes.
Right. Just making sure. I passively use this one and then my real estate one kind of sits dormant and that's my fault. But I don't have listings on here because I'm not promoting myself as a realtor in my community very well. I get business, but it's usually referrals and sphere of influence, and sometimes my VAs turn over leads that I jump on. But I'm not actively building my business. If I was, I would have a section for my listings, and I would promote my listings and a short video. I'd have another section for buyer and seller testimonials. I'd have another section for stories. The nightmare stories that we encounter in real estate all the time, those make incredible videos and stories that people engage with. I'd have another section for that. And then I'd have a section for content, teaching people how to do things. So I
Thank
want
you.
you to kind of have break all these different kind of categories that right now you're thinking of as though they need their own channel, and maybe put them on the same channel. And it doesn't mean that you need to get rid of your old channel. You can maintain both. If you don't have the bandwidth to maintain both, I would pour that bandwidth, everything I had, into at least maintaining and running one. All right. Hopefully that helps. You good, Mike?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you very
Cool.
much.
Okay. So I want you guys to know that this is the general way that you can edit. It's not complicated at all. This is not complicated at all to set your channel up. You just need the first couple of pieces of content. The other thing that I do with my channel is I break most things into playlists. So when I load a video up, I put it in the section that it applies with. But if there are things that tie together, I'll tie them together in a playlist. And I'm going to show you guys the uh, Probate Mastery, Probate Mastery channel so that you can see what that might that might look like. So if you click here on playlists, I've got a playlist for the Easy Real Estate platform. Got 10 different videos on there explaining the Easy Real Estate platform. And if somebody watches one, they might go, "Hey, I want more information on this." And so it's nice for without having to go to and without having to have 1,000 different sections on your channel, it's nice to have a playlist. And if they've seen one video and they want more video pertaining to that thing, they can play it. Um, we've got a playlist for the most liked videos, so people like that. Here's Courtney's video. As a matter of fact, those of you that wanted Courtney's videos, if you go to my playlist, his is the very first one on my liked video playlist. I've got one for real estate role play calls. I've got one for ISAs. Okay, so we're doing a lot of different things with playlists where people can really see. And I don't even think I'm on the right channel. I'm not on the right channel. Here we go, Probate Mastery. So playlists, you can see. Actually, we are. Forgive me, guys. It's tying my two channels together, and that's okay. All right, so playlists. That might help you to tie if it ties both channels together. So people can go in and dig through your playlist. So not only am I putting my videos in the section that they belong to, but I'm also putting them in playlists that autoplay the next video when they're done watching that one thing. But I make sure that my playlists are all related to each other. So that anytime you do a playlist, they need to be related to one another. All right. Any other questions? If not, I'm going to jump back into our slides. Figure out, I don't know if you guys can hear, but I have one of my videos playing. There we go. Get rid of that. All right. Are we back on slides? Everybody see slides? Okay, perfect. So your content, let's talk about the content that you guys need to put up in when you're creating your YouTube channel and you're getting traction. So first thing I want to do is start spotlighting my vendors. Why do I do this? Anybody have any guesses as to why I want to start interviewing my vendors and spotlighting them? What are some of the reasons I want to do this?
getting a good team together, referrals.
Yep.
It's exponential.
Building a great team and referrals. It's a great excuse to call your vendor and kind of arrange a meeting. What else? What are some other reasons I might want to, specifically with vendors, interview them for my channel?
Provide additional value.
Provide additional value to my audience or to the vendor or both?
To the audience, I would think. But to both.
Yep. For the audience and both, it gives both value. What else?
Would
They have a broader reach.
Jennifer first.
Wouldn't you have the opportunity to have their audience come to your channel and then grow your channel?
Yeah. Okay. Who else chimed in? I'm going to come back to Jennifer here in a second.
This is Carmen. I was saying the same thing as Jennifer.
Perfect. Yep. That's my number one reason for interviewing my vendors. Okay. Somebody loses, especially in the estate and the probate space, they lose a loved one. They don't first go search for who's the best realtor, who's the best real estate investor to buy my house. They first go look for what's the most affordable or the most empathetic funeral director, how to get to the morgue. Okay. They go look and then they start looking for how to navigate probate. What probate attorney can I go to? What do I do with all the stuff that's been left behind? Do I need an estate sale? They start looking for these things long before they start looking for us in the real estate space, for the most part. And there's some people that run into the house and they realize the mortgage is 3 months late and they don't have any money to pay the mortgage. And so they might go look for a real estate professional right out of the gate. But most people don't go look for a real estate professional right out of the gate. So what I want to do is I want to be seen side by side with the professional that they are looking for. And most of those professionals that they're looking for aren't doing a great job of promoting their businesses. When's the last time you saw someone in the funeral business promoting their business? They might do it on commercials, but not online. Okay. When's the last time you saw an estate sale company running an ad or promoting or doing a video for their business? They're probably not. They have a very niche business and there's typically not a lot of them in a city and they're typically not promoting their business very well. So I can promise you, if you promote their business, especially on YouTube, and you interview them and you start pushing their business, and every time somebody finds them, they see you're going to have a huge leg up on anyone that you might be competing with. So my number one reason for doing vendor interviews and spotlighting vendors is because I can rank my videos and my websites and my blogs higher than theirs ranks. And I'm promoting their video. All I need is to be seen side by side with that vendor in their business. That's what I need. The vendor likes it because I'm pushing them, but I'm getting a major benefit that I wouldn't get otherwise. So I'm going to encourage you guys to maybe start with, and it doesn't have to be the first thing you do, but early on, start by interviewing your vendors. And this would include attorneys and estate sale companies and yard maintenance companies and antiques appraisers and different people like that are in the in the same orbit that we're in as estate professionals. Next thing I want to do is I want to showcase my stories. So I do this in its own separate section. If you've been in real estate for any length of time, you have stories. Okay. Now, you don't have to go as far as I do. I talk about using the bathroom in the house that turns out didn't have water. Okay. I talk about getting a gun pulled on me when I was trying to get into a foreclosure. I talk about having to do the eviction at the crack house. Okay. I talk about the client that wouldn't lower her price. Any of those uncomfortable stories that I've come into, I think make wildly entertaining stories. And first, I'm trying to be an entertainer. I want someone to go, man, every time I see this guy's video, there's something really fun, something really good happening. It might be embarrassing for him, but it made me laugh. Okay, so I like to share my stories and my experiences in their own section. Okay, so I'm going to encourage you guys to do the same thing. This book right here is my story journal. Okay. And anytime something happens to me, real estate related or not real estate related, if it was meaningful, I write it in this journal, and I'll typically just sort of write the title, and then I'll start to break apart what that story meant to me and how it might pertain to someone else. Okay. Many of you, and I don't know if all of you have heard, and I'm going to go fast, forgive the length here. Many of you have heard the time that I went camping with Chad Corbett. He called me up one day. He said, "Let's go camping." And I said, "I'm there. When are you going?" He said, "Today." I said, "I'm there." I left the house without any camping gear, and I was planning on stopping at Walmart and getting my camping gear because I didn't have any. Embarrassingly, I pretended like I did, but I didn't. Okay. I called him from a Walmart parking lot and I said, "I forgot my camping gear." That's a lie. I didn't have camping gear. I just said I forgot it. I had to keep my man card. Okay. He said, "Bruce, the thing that you're going to have to, the most expensive thing you're ever going to buy is the thing that you have to buy twice," which is so true. You buy cheap things, you're going to have to buy it again. It becomes very expensive. He said, "There's a Bass Pro Shop here on Hatteras Island. Just come out here and buy good stuff at the Bass Pro Shop." So I drive all the way out to Hatteras Island, and I don't know if you guys have ever been there, but it's way out and there's nothing there, including a Bass Pro Shop. There's not a Bass Pro Shop there. So I'd gotten way out into the lower levels of the Outer Banks, not built out, with no camping gear, end of October, wind blowing, cold, rainy, and I got nothing. And I slept under the stars that night with a little kid's sleeping bag and froze my butt off because the wind was blowing into the sleeping bag. And I get up that morning and I'm looking at the sleeping bag after not sleeping all night long and after having the wind blow and freeze me out all night. And I realized after the entire night that all I had to do was turn the sleeping bag in the other direction away from the wind, and I would have slept like a baby. And it took me 8 hours of shivering to figure it out. Okay. And I swore I'd never tell anyone that story until I realized that any challenge we have in life and in business is usually just a matter of turning the sleeping bag around, of taking a step back and looking at it for a second. And the solution's usually pretty easy. When you're in the situation, you just can't do it. So that's an example of what I put in my story journal. That wasn't a real estate story, but that makes a great video for one of the sections on my YouTube channel, and it gets people engaged. You guys have those stories as well. So I want you guys to showcase your stories. I want you to do short form tips and tricks videos. You guys should definitely be following the Probate Nurse on TikTok. Melanie, wherever else you are, you can drop it in chat. I love Melanie's short form videos on probate. Okay, you could do long form explainer videos, and this is where I'm gonna go back. Whoever had asked the question a little bit ago about should I do long form or short form, you should do both. Okay. And you should also be doing community highlight videos. This is for those of you that have more of a generic or broad real estate channel. I want you to spotlight and highlight other vendors that maybe aren't necessarily involved in probate. Now, if your channel's all about probate, you're probably going to leave the highlight videos out. But I like to highlight businesses and locations and fun things in my community as well. All right, so those are the different types of content that I put up onto my YouTube channel. More about content. You want to go talk about your niche resources. Showcase your real estate expertise. Show your stories. I don't know why I did this twice, guys. I basically same slide, same content, different slide. Okay. So You want to make sure that you've got a really good mix of different types of content that are out there. And then once you have content, now it's the time to start repurposing. So, Reen, you repurpose a lot of content. Your goal is to drive people over to Facebook. I want to repurpose my content. So I shoot videos as though I'm going to put it on YouTube, but then I start chopping things up and splitting them out and using them in other places. So what I want to do is I want to take my long-term form videos and break them into short form videos. And I'm going to kind of take my slides down in a minute and just sort of talk to you guys about how I do this. But one of the ways that I do this is in my interviews, especially with my vendors. I come with a set of questions that I'm going to ask and talk to them about. I will post the entire video, but then I'll break each question that I ask and that we talk about into its own small video. So I interview once, and maybe that interview is 45 minutes, but I can get 10 or 12 videos out of that one vendor interview when I just break the different questions and answers out. Okay, so try to do long form and then break it into short form. Make it very easy for other people to share. And those other people that are going to share, I really like for that to be the people that I've interviewed. So I want to make it easy for the people that I've interviewed and that I've talked with to share my content. I don't always want to be just the talking head that's up talking through things. So one of the things that I might do with this, if we put it on YouTube, I should do with this if I'm following my own advice, is put the whole video up and then take Mike's question and Reen's comments and Lisa's comments and Melanie and those of you that have jumped in, and maybe put a video up where it's just a short form of us talking. So a lot of times, some of you might even share that. So try to make it easy for other people to share your content. My animations are all over the place. So they started in the middle and dropped down and then went to the top. That's my fault. So I also want to pull the audio from the video that I've recorded and maybe use it as a podcast. So Buzzsprout is a great place to host audio and then promote on podcasts. There's a lot of different podcast platforms that you can promote on, but you guys could easily have your own podcast using only your YouTube content. So Probate Mastery, we have a podcast. We don't sit down and record an audio only podcast. We never have. I don't know if we ever will. All the leads, they have a podcast. Never have, probably never will sit down and record an audio only podcast. They're just videos that they separated the soundtrack from and they posted it and published it as a podcast. And if somebody were to go look, we could do one class or workshop or mastermind and turn it into 10 or 12 different individual pieces of content. It could be a podcast. It could be broken out pieces of YouTube shorts. So I want you guys to think about this. You can easily do one video and get it put everywhere. People will look at you and go, I see you everywhere. I had a woman several years ago that turned out to be a nightmare client. I won't tell you the story of the client, but she said, I see you everywhere. And the reality is she'd only been following me for a couple of weeks and she was seeing the same content that I just repurposed over and over and over again. And I knew because I'd only done one piece of content in the last 6 months, but I'd done that content and I'd repurposed it everywhere. And she thought she was seeing it all over the place. So, and this is one of the ways that I do that is through pulling sound out and posting it as a podcast. You could transcribe your content for blogs. I think most of us undervalue the benefit of putting blog posts up. So one of the things that I do is I have someone that kind of coordinates this for me. But I'll do a video and she'll look at that video and say, okay, what's this about? And she'll take the points of that training and she'll write a blog about it and she'll just lay it in an outline. And then she goes to ChatGPT and says, give me 2,000 words about this topic. And they kick it out and we'll put the video on the blog and then there will be written content on it as well. And now I have the video on YouTube, and I also have it on its own standalone blog page. So lots of ways to do one piece of content and get multiple sites out of it, basically. And then we want to do cross-platform promotion. So our cross-platform promotion is when you have a YouTube short or a long video on YouTube and you find something short, you cut it out and you put it on Instagram and you put it on Facebook and you put it on TikTok and you post it on your business page. You post it to groups that you might run. So you definitely want to take those pieces of content and get them out as many different places as possible. And your audience will absolutely think that you are everywhere, and you're not. So that's the trick here. Look like you're everywhere without running yourself ragged. But it all starts with creating the first channel and the first videos. So I'm going to go over some tools and tips. And as I do this, I will probably turn my camera around and just share a couple of things with you guys. Tool number one is lighting. This is not in order of most important. When I get to the important things, I'll point them out. But lighting is important. I'm going to stop my screen and show you guys my lighting setup. I don't have the best lighting, but I have decent lighting. So what I do is I have a little ring light and a little low profile, and if those are probably too bright, and forgive the dog in the background, that's her spot, and she messes the bed up all the time. So essentially, I am just mounting my lights to the corner of my desk. That's a little boom arm with another little arm that comes off, and that gives me really good lighting when I'm sitting in front of my desk. Otherwise, be outside. If you're near a window, as long as you're not camera facing into the window, if you're near a window, you'll get good light. If you're outside, you'll get really good light. Okay, but I want you to have pretty good lighting. All right, and we'll go back to the screen share and run through a couple of these other tools that you might have. So camera equipment. This camera right here is just fine. Okay. I don't use this camera a lot. I do when I'm doing a whiteboard explainer video. I just need a vertical little, hey guys, talk to you for a quick second, and then I'll stop the video and I'll cut me going to a whiteboard and explaining something. But I don't use my phone a lot. I know people that run their entire YouTube channel off of a phone. Not a problem. Please use what you have. Your phone is just fine for camera equipment. So I run with a Sony EZ10. If anyone has that camera and wants to correct the name of the camera for me, please feel free to do so. I'll try to pull the link up that I use. It's this camera down here. So that's what I do. I just put it on a tripod, and then I have a little zoom, like a wide angle lens with a great f-stop. And f-stop is just what gives the background that blurry look. Okay, so that's what I typically shoot on. And I can't show you guys my webcam. Or if I'm just recording a little video where I want to do slides or something like that, or share a screen, which are great videos, I'm using a Razer external webcam, Razer. Razer external webcam, and it's pretty good. Razer and Logitech make really good external webcams that are crisp. Those of you that are shooting on your laptop webcam, anything that you put up is great. But let me say, I would prefer you use at minimum an external webcam with a good like 4K definition. Okay. Laptop webcam is better than nothing, and don't let that stop you if you don't have the best camera equipment. But I would prefer an external webcam especially if you're going to share slides and teach. Get a good external webcam. So Next, camera equipment. We've got what's down here, sound and audio. Okay, sound and audio. Sound is the most important thing on your videos. If you're shooting through a phone, get yourself a lavalier mic. Okay. If you're shooting through a computer, maybe get yourself a standalone mic. If you're shooting through your camera, at minimum, get an external mic that mounts on your camera. I prefer, if I'm indoors, I prefer shooting through an external microphone. And this one has hands down the best sound that I've heard. There are $1,000 microphones that probably beat it out, but $180, and you're gonna get a really, really good sound that people like listening to. Sound trumps video quality, by the way. Sound trumps lighting. All of those are important, but I think your sound is the most important. Other tools that I use to interview, especially if I'm going to be interviewing people on like a Zoom or something like that, I would prefer that you guys might go with something like a StreamYard. So STREAM, StreamYard. And what that does is it just gives you different formats that you can play around with. You can record in vertical or you can record in horizontal. So if you're recording, and if you're okay sitting at your computer to do this, if you don't want to sit at your computer to do this, that's fine. But StreamYard is really cool, and it's just one of the tools. There's others that you can say, hey, I want to record in vertical. If you just want to sit down and record something that might be going on onto YouTube Shorts or TikTok or Instagram, it'll cut it down and record you tight, or you can record horizontal for YouTube. StreamYard is also a great tool to be able to pop slides up. So you guys see here when this video comes out, when I'm sharing a screen and the recording comes out, my picture is going to be up in the corner. Okay. StreamYard's one of those things where you can decide where your image is going to be, how big it's going to be. It just has a better format than Zoom. I like it. It does cost $39 a month or something like that. So if you're going to do a lot of video, it might be a good tool. If you're not going to do much video, I probably wouldn't spring for a monthly subscription on that. All right. Try to batch your content, please. Okay, you guys can plan to do one video a week or one video a day. That's great. A lot of times, if you're not doing it daily, you'll fall out of the habit. You'll have something come up that stops you. And once you get stopped that day, it's easy to stop the next day. So I would say either try to do daily or try to schedule yourself a time once every couple of weeks or once a month where you just sit down and you record 7 or 8 or 9 or 15 videos. I try to knock as many videos out as I can in a time batch where I might spend 6 hours one day only doing video. And I'll tell you that I can run off of that amount of videos for months. And then I don't have to shoot them again for a while. So I try to batch my content into blocks. Some of you are going to be better to just say, hey, I'm just going to do one a day. That's great. You figure out what fits your style and your personality and your work schedule. And then the last thing that I'm just going to tell you guys before we go to some questions is figure out your short versus long form. Short form definitely keeps, you don't have as much tendency to lose people. But both of these, you need to be pretty engaging. I think that there are consumers that don't like long form videos, and they're not going to watch my long form video. There are other consumers that don't like the trivial nature of something short, and they want some meat and potatoes, and they want to watch long form. So I'm going to encourage you guys to have a mix of short and long that matches to different people that you have. If you're going to do long form videos, my advice is to mix a few stories in. That's my advice. And if anyone doesn't feel like a good storyteller, I would advise you to go look up a guy named Eric Edmeades on storytelling. So, or public speaking. I'm going to put it in chat, and I see a ton of chats here, guys. I hopefully I haven't missed anyone. I guarantee I've missed some folks. So I'm going to try to chat to everyone. So Eric Edmeads, I learned a lot about storytelling from him. Public speaking. So Eric owns multiple different companies. You specifically have to look up public speaking, but he gets invited to speak for Tony Robbins all the time. He gets invited to speak everywhere, and that's not even his primary business. But he speaks and teaches on speaking. He teaches on storytelling, and I think it's important that you guys put stories together, especially if you're doing long form video. If you want to be engaging and you want people to follow through and watch, start learning how to structure your stories and watch his YouTube videos. It'll be life changing for those of you that are trying to be on camera and keep people engaged for lengthier talks that you're going to give. Okay. I do want to show you guys a couple of different strategies for how I might record long form video because it can be very intimidating if you've never done it before. Before I do I have any questions? I'm going to stop my share. Any questions? Nope. All right. So we are going to talk to you guys about your short versus long form. Melanie, are you still here? Because when you shared how, there's Melanie. Okay, Melanie, what's the name of the app that you use? It's one that I use as well, but I want you to share it when you're doing your short videos.
Yeah, sure. So I really love it. It's a teleprompter and it's called Big View. So it's BIG capital V as in Victor, U, Big View. And I love it. You can put your scripts on there. You can rewrite with AI. If you don't like your verbiage, you can do commands on there. Has AI capabilities. And from there, you can upload it to wherever you want to upload it to. And I think you can go to multi-platforms as well, Bruce, from that.
Yep.
If you want. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
I highly recommend that. It's pretty cheap, maybe $100 for
a year.
A year?
Yeah.
Maybe? It's
yeah.
cheap.
It is. It's really good. It's also free. You have the little Big View logo at the bottom, and you have like a limit on time or something like that. But you can also get the free version. But it's really cheap to have the upgraded version. I like it.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I like it is I will sit down and write. So I'll plan many videos out at the same time, and I'll write my outlines and scripts out. And I do it on bigview.tv. So BIGV Victor Union .tv. And I'll write my scripts out and I'll send them to the Big View app. And then as long as your phone is more than 2 feet away from your face, you can't see your eyes moving with the script. Okay. Now, problem for people like me. It's just those of you that have asked me for scripts know that I can't follow a script. I have this uncontrollable urge to wing it. And when I'm following a script that's any longer than about 20 seconds long, I can't stay on the teleprompter because something's going to pop in my head and I'm going to want to say it and then I'm going to lose where the teleprompter was. So if you are like me, you might have a hard time using Big View on anything longer than 30 or 40 seconds or 20 seconds for me. But I love really enjoy Big View, and it helps on short form videos a lot. There, some of you are going to go full blown teleprompter. Don't go spend a ton of money on something that you don't know you're going to use. I would encourage you to just use it on your phone and the Big View app until you know that you're going to be consistent producing video. And if you are, and you want to start stepping it up into high quality videos where you're going off teleprompter, you might get a teleprompter mount and put a real camera in it. That's pretty cool. I have one of those and I don't use it. So how do I know that you should use the Big View app until you know that you're going to like a teleprompter? It's because I bought the big thing, the expensive thing, and then never used it. So don't buy anything until you've proven with something like Big View you're going to use it. Now, for those of you that are a little worried about long form video and staying on script with a teleprompter app, here's what I'm going to encourage you to do. outline your videos. So don't write them out. Antonio, it's big V Victor U Union. So BIG Victor Union. And then if you're just going online, it's bigview.tv. Yep. So I'll write on my longer videos, I'll outline what I'm gonna say. And some of you are gonna just want to wing it. If you want to wing it, go wing it. Great, not a problem. If you don't want to wing it, you want to have a plan, put your outline together. So I might say, hey, 5 ways to sell your house for the most money. And then I'll say, way number 1, prepare. Way number 2, pick the right agent. Way number 3, present your home professionally. Number 4 is promote through good marketing. Number 5 is price appropriately. Okay. So I'll just write that out in an outline format, and I don't write anything in between the outline points. Nothing. And I sit down in front of my camera, and I do this all the time. All the time. My camera is right here. Okay. It's kind of diagonal to my right. And I've got my outline here in my computer straight on. And I look and I go, okay, point number 1. What do I want to say about this? And I come up with, I can talk about anything for 40 seconds. Okay. And I'll turn to my camera and I talk about that thing for 40 seconds. And then I do this. I go time out. And I come back and I look at point number 2 on my screen and I go, okay, what do I want to say about that? I don't memorize what I'm going to say. I just say, what do I want to say about that point? And then I go back and I go untime and I try. It never works perfect. It doesn't need to work perfect. I try to put my body in a similar position that I was when I said timeout on the last point. And I talk about that point and then I go timeout and I go back and I look at my third point. Internalize it, go back to my camera, go untime. Okay. And then I send it to a video editor. You can do this yourself. I send it to video editors. If you guys need one, I got people for you. You just email me. I send it to the editor and they put all the pieces together and they take out all my stumbles and my stammers and the places that I said timeout. And you wouldn't know it if you've watched any of my videos that weren't live. But most of the time, I have 2 or 3 takes that aren't so good. And they just cut those out. I don't stop the recording. I just keep going. And I go, I think I want to say that again. And then I'll talk to my editor and I'll say, I don't like the last 3 minutes. I'm going to go back and do it again. And she gets to watch me study my script and study my talking points and stumble and go, ugh. She gets to watch all that. You guys don't see any of it because she just cuts it all out and puts the pieces together. And it's not a hard job for her. And it's a really easy job for me because I don't care if I mess up. If I mess up, I just say, hey, I want to do that part again. And I just do it again with the video still running. Last thing that I'm going to say on that with longer form video is I run my sound through a separate app. I either run it through Audacity, which is a free podcasting app. And normally I run it through Audacity. It's not working for me right now. So I like Descript as well. But let's just go with Audacity for now. And I will start my sound. Good question, Vince. Yes, I'm using Descript right now. So I will start my sound and I'll start my camera at the same time. And then I tell the camera what I'm recording on so that we don't mix the sound up, mix the audio and the video up. And I'll go, okay, 3, 2, 1, and then I clap. I look at the camera and I give 3 big claps. And that way my editor can take the sound and where she sees that sound spike of my hands coming together and she sees my hands together on the video, she just lays the 2 together in her software. And you would never know that I wasn't using camera sound. She just has to match the files up together. And she does that with the spike on the sound and my hands being together on camera. I find that this sound is better than anything else that I've used. And I have really good mics hooked to my camera. I have good lavalier mics. I personally like the sound on this better. So I usually send her 2 files and I'll name them and I'll say, put the sound file with the video file. Right. So that's how I shoot my long form videos, and I let my editor do the heavy lifting after I've sent her my sections. All right. Cool. Questions, comments?
I have a comment,
Yeah, go ahead, Lisa.
and it's just pertaining to video in general. I think that, well, not, I know, because we are our own worst critics, and you can be terrified to look at yourself in your video and then not do the video. So a poorly recorded video is better than no video and no channel at all, because most people right now are not doing this, and it really is where we're going, in my opinion. And so even on my channel, it can be tweaked, it can be made way better, because it's just a start. And that's the biggest thing, is just start, do your video, get it out there. And if you don't look at it, because I don't look at my videos, I have another person now edit them, and I'm just like, that's who I am, that's what I look like. And if my hair is weird or whatever, it is what it is, that's who I am. And I put it out there, because you got to start somewhere, and there is no perfect. So just do it. Yeah.
The people that
That's
have
my
the
2 cents.
best engagement are usually the ones that embrace their oddness. I would say uniqueness. But the reality is there are some very odd people that have extremely engaging content and videos and big followings, and it's because they just don't care. And I'm just going to encourage you guys, just don't care. I've deleted so many good pieces of content and videos that I wish I had back, even though I didn't like them. I wish I had them back. So um, I applaud you for saying that, Lisa. It's absolutely true. Doesn't matter how you feel about it, put it out there. And if you can't, give it to someone else and tell them to put it out there. Like, I don't even look at my videos anymore. Okay. Anybody else? TJ uses Riverside. That's great. Awesome. Yeah, I think TJ, we talked about that. Yeah. So I use StreamYard, you use Riverside. I haven't played around with Riverside. I got to play around with that. I've heard really good things though.
Yeah, you can edit right inside there. It does, it's very similar to StreamYard, but
Yeah.
but yeah, I'll usually do that. I use Descript. I have a teleprompter app and all that. So it's just really, I think systematizing and batching is a
Mm-hmm.
total game changer for
Mm-hmm.
sure. Just to echo what you said.
Yep. So if you guys have not put your YouTube channels up, even if it's just a shell of a channel and you just have a name, put your YouTube channel up. I'd love to follow you guys. We can support each other. And we'll do more content on videos. And we'll get Courtney's training on YouTube out here as well. He's doing a really good job with what he's putting out. I want to see some of the others of you that are doing a really good job and follow you as well. Any other comments or questions? What do we have? As anyone that hasn't done video, did I make it more complicated for you, or is it easier? Are you now motivated? Which one? If it's more complicated, I'll have to do another class and try to make it easier. All right, who's gonna go set their channel up today? See some hands this week at least. All right. Well, guys, I appreciate everybody being here. We will do another workshop here soon. Sorry, I'm just scanning the comments and the questions. Hopefully, hopefully I didn't miss anyone. I'm sure I missed a few chatted in questions. Recording will come out. My editor will cut this up and probably ought to have it ready to go out. It's Thursday now. It may not be till Monday, but we're gonna have it out at least by the beginning of next week, if not tomorrow. Okay. Appreciate everybody being here. Thanks so much. Have a great one.